What if I told you, the next footprints on the moon are not the final goal? They are just the beginning. For decades, humanity has looked at Mars and wondered, can we go there? Can we live there? But the truth is, getting to Mars is not just a longer version of going to the moon. It's a completely different level of challenge. And that's exactly why NASA has launched one of the most ambitious space programs in history, the Artemis Program. This isn't just about returning to the moon. It's about preparing for humanity's first journey to another planet. Let's break down how. For a moment, go back in time. In 1969, Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon and said those immortal words. The Apollo program proved that humans could leave Earth, land on another world, and return safely. But Apollo had a limitation. It was short-term. Astronauts stayed for days, not months. They brought everything with them and left nothing behind. Mars doesn't work like that. A mission to Mars could take 2 to 3 years. There's no quick return. No rescue mission. No margin for failure. So instead of jumping straight to Mars, NASA is taking a smarter approach. Learn to live in deep space, by starting with the moon. This is where Artemis begins. The first major step is Artemis II. This mission will send astronauts farther than any human has traveled in over 50 years. They won't land on the moon, but that's not the point. The goal is to test everything: life support systems, navigation in deep space, and most importantly, how humans handle being far away from Earth for extended periods. Because once you go to Mars, you're truly on your own. Next comes Artemis III. This is the mission that will put humans back on the moon's surface for the first time since 1972. But this time, it's different. NASA isn't just planting a flag, they're testing technologies for survival. New spacesuits, advanced landing systems, surface operations. Every step taken on the moon is a rehearsal for Mars. Then comes a critical turning point, Artemis IV. This mission introduces something revolutionary, the Lunar Gateway. Think of it as a space station orbiting the moon. A staging point, a laboratory, a checkpoint between Earth and deep space. Why is this important? Because Mars missions won't launch like Apollo missions. You don't just take off, land, and come back. You'll need infrastructure in space, places to assemble spacecraft, refuel, and prepare for long journeys. The Gateway is the first real step toward that future. By the time we reach Artemis V and beyond, NASA's vision becomes clear. Sustained human presence on the moon. Not visits, presence. Astronauts will stay longer. They'll test living off the land, using lunar resources like ice for water and oxygen. They'll practice building habitats, maintaining systems, and surviving in an unforgiving environment. All of this answers one critical question. Can humans live beyond Earth? For real? Because Mars is not just far, it's brutal. There is intense radiation, temperatures that can freeze equipment, a thin atmosphere that makes landing incredibly difficult, and perhaps the biggest challenge of all, psychological isolation. Imagine being millions of kilometers away from Earth, with communication delays of up to 20 minutes. You can't just call for help. This is why NASA is also running missions like CHAPEA mission, where humans live in Mars-like conditions on Earth for months at a time. These simulations study behavior, stress, teamwork, and survival. Because the journey to Mars isn't just technological, it's deeply human. But perhaps the most underrated role of Artemis is this. It's reducing risk. Every system tested on the moon is one less unknown on the way to Mars. Every mistake made near Earth is a disaster avoided millions of kilometers away. And that changes everything. Now here's the bigger picture. Mars isn't just another destination. It represents a turning point in human history. For the first time, humanity would become a multi-planetary species. And that changes how we think about survival, exploration, and our place in the universe. But we don't get there in one giant leap. We get there step by step, mission by mission, test by test, failure by failure, success by success. The Artemis program is not the final chapter. It's the training ground, the proving ground, the bridge between where we are and where we want to go. So the next time you hear about astronauts going back to the moon, remember this. They are not just exploring the moon. They are preparing for Mars. And when the first human finally sets foot on the red planet, that journey will have truly begun years earlier, under the silent gray skies of the moon. Because the road to Mars starts with Artemis. And this time, we're not just visiting space. We're learning how to stay.